You wake up to rain on the window. Again. 3 days now, maybe 4. The plans are cancelled, the walk isn't happening, and you're stuck inside with nothing but your own thoughts and a very long list of things you're suddenly not doing. It feels like a modern problem, a first-world kind of restlessness. But somewhere, tens of thousands of years ago, one of your ancestors sat inside a cave mouth, watching the exact same rain fall, for the exact same number of days, wondering the exact same thing: what now? Here's what almost nobody thinks about when they picture prehistoric life. The movies show hunting, they show fire, they show dramatic chases across open plains. What they don't show is the rain, and there was a lot of rain. Depending on where and when your ancestors lived, entire seasons could bring weeks of near-constant downpour. Rivers swelled, ground turned to mud. Hunting became difficult, sometimes impossible, and the open landscape that usually meant opportunity suddenly meant exposure, cold, and risk. So what did people actually do? They went inside. Not into houses, not yet. Into whatever shelter existed. Rock overhangs, cave mouths, simple structures built from branches and hide. One of the clearest windows into this comes from a site in southern France called Terra Amata. The archaeologist Henry de Lumley led excavations there that uncovered the remains of oval-shaped shelters, built from branches driven into the ground and likely covered with skins, dating back roughly 400,000 years. Inside these shelters, researchers found hearths, protected and positioned carefully, exactly where you'd want a fire if you were planning to sit still for a while. That detail matters. A hearth isn't something you build for a 5-minute stop. A hearth is something you build when you know you're staying put. So picture it: rain outside, fire inside, a small group of people with nowhere to go and nothing urgent to hunt, sitting together in the flickering light for hours, maybe days. What do you think happened next? Boredom, probably. Real, restless boredom. The kind you feel scrolling through your phone for the 5th time in an hour, except with no phone, no screen, no distraction whatsoever waiting at the end of your fingertips. And here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Modern psychologists who study boredom, including the researcher John Eastwood, describe it not as laziness, but as a kind of internal signal, a push. Boredom, in Eastwood's framing, is your mind telling you it wants to be engaged with something, anything, more meaningfully than it currently is. For your ancestors, trapped by weather with nothing to hunt and nowhere to go, that push had to go somewhere. Some of the clearest evidence of where it went comes from a cave on the coast of South Africa called Blombos. The archaeologist Christopher Henshelwood and his team uncovered pieces of ochre there, a soft reddish stone, deliberately engraved with careful geometric crosshatch patterns. Some of these engravings date back over 70,000 years. They serve no practical survival purpose whatsoever. You cannot eat an engraved pattern. You cannot hunt with it. It doesn't keep you warm. What it does is occupy a mind that has time on its hands, leaving a mark that would outlast them by tens of thousands of years. None of it was necessary for survival in any immediate sense. And maybe that's exactly the point. Now think about your own rainy week. The cancelled plans, the restless energy with nowhere obvious to go. You reach for your phone almost automatically, filling the gap the same way your ancestors once filled theirs, except your options now number in the millions, instead of a handful of tools and a fire. But strip away the phone for a second, and the underlying feeling is almost identical. A mind with time on its hands, searching for something to do with it. Your ancestors turned to stone carving and storytelling. You might turn to a hobby you've been putting off, a half-finished project pulled back out of a drawer, a long conversation with someone in the next room you don't usually have time to talk